Okay, we're being recorded. Welcome everyone. I'm very privileged to be here with my friends and all of you as well, who are my friends. And we're going to be talking about just keeping yourself healthy in an incredibly difficult time to actually try to hold on to that. And we're going to try to do this in more of a round table discussion style thing because again, it's one of these topics where I don't think any of us can really call ourselves an expert in any of this. There are things that we know a lot about, there are things that we practice, but everybody's opinion is quite valid. And we hope that we get input from everyone. And from all of that input, we can actually create new knowledge, which by the way, has been the theme of this whole week. Before we do though, I wanted to address the fact that this was supposed to be featuring a very, very lovely person who's actually a meditation and yoga teacher named Chiyuki Yanase. And she had to actually bow out of this session as well as bow out of another session on Friday morning. And I wouldn't normally make a big point out of all of this, but it was in the context of last night's fantastic session by Alex Burke on, I'm going to try this one time, inclusivity and neurodiversity in the classroom. And one of the last things that was mentioned in that session was what she thought we could do to help those who are neurodiverse or those who need to be brought into the classroom more actively by us as instructors. And she said, well, basically that, try your best to bring this into the classroom, into the light, out of the shadows, remove the stigma. And I was asking,
I got it.
Thank you, got it. I was asking Chiyuki if I could actually mention something about her situation in that context, because actually, Charlie, why don't you talk a little bit from here about that point, because you know Chiyuki a little bit better than me.
Oh, I didn't. Did you read the message yet or not yet? Okay, so
I will.
Okay, I'll
how about if I read the message? Okay, how about if I read the message, then you can just come in? Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, here's the message. So let me read the message from Chiyuki about this. Excuse me. Okay, so here we go. From Chiyuki. Thank you. Oops, no, that one's about the dentist. Sorry. Sorry. Wrong paragraph. It all looks the same on Facebook Messenger. Okay, so here we go. From Chiyuki. I've been struggling with my mental health due to the intense stress during the spring semester, but doing yoga and meditation have helped me with appropriate treatments. I'm back on the journey of healing and will address the social stigma towards mental health issues and the lack of help as I get better. So she was very brave in actually allowing us to tell you all why she's not here. And that is the kind of courage that I think is important, not just from the people who need this help, but from us as educators. Charlie, do you want to say anything about Chiyuki?
Well, I mean, all I can say about Chiyuki is just nothing but great things. I mean, she's been an inspiration for me. We've known each other a while, but working together the past 6 or 8 months. But I think the tough thing for Chiyuki is the tough thing that a lot of us have experienced. She's just experiencing it more. She had her own school for children and young learners and was doing a lot of things until this year. But she decided to make the move to university teaching fully this year, unfortunately, the year of COVID. And so she went from, teaching only a few classes to, I think she has 18 coma at 4 different universities now. And just imagine that as your main source of income, 18 coma, 4 different universities, 4 different learning platforms, multiple devices, multiple messages from all these different schools. It's emergency remote teaching on steroids. And she's absolutely fantastic with yoga and meditation. And in fact, we worked together to develop a yoga program in English for children over the past couple of months. And I've learned a lot about that from her. But I think, right now she's just a bit overwhelmed, as many of us are. And this 1 or 2 weeks of summer vacation she's had, I think she said, yeah, okay, I think I can do this session. I can, everybody said yes at the last minute to do these sessions here. And I think she probably just said yes a little bit too quickly, not realizing that she needed a little bit more time to sort of catch up. But guaranteed she'll be giving us more information and contribute elsewhere when she's ready.
So bear with us. We don't have anything that's anywhere near as great as having a yoga teacher teaching us yoga. We just have these 3 old guys telling you what we do, and we still think that it's going to be helpful. But on the issue of mental health, we have Mark Helgeson here, who's here from the Mind Brain SIG. Did I get that right, Mark? Was that the right name?
Yeah, Mind Brain Education.
I'm so sorry.
Right.
And
And-
he's going to say this.
Yeah, we well, let me share a slide with you because, like, okay, background is we do a monthly magazine called Think Tank, and we're working on an issue on depression. And you all have an image of depression, right? But I'd like to share a graphic that I found particularly useful in starting conversations with students. And that is, where'd it go? It has disappeared. Let me, Monte.
Oh,
There's
Chuki!
Chi-chan.
Okay,
Hey, great.
Mark, you go ahead and hunt it down if Chuki wants.
I've got it, but no, but go ahead and let me.
Well, let's see if she actually wants to. I don't know if
Yeah.
she wants this. Chuki, we were just talking about you.
Hey, Chiyuki.
Or I
Well,
don't, because she's
well,
out
we-
right now. I don't
well,
know
we
if she
can-
can
what we
actually
can
turn
do
on her
is-
camera.
I can just start. I can, while
Yeah,
Mark is looking
yeah.
for the screenshot, I can just start about some of the things that I do, and then
Sure. Mark, have
can
you
just
got your
jump in when you're ready.
screenshot, or do you need some time to find your screenshot?
Well, I've got the slide here. Just let me see if it's showing up on screen share, on share screen.
Not yet.
Yeah, no, I've got it.
Okay.
Great.
Okay, and the very specific situation this semester is I have one student. This is one of those cases where I have about 10 windows open and I'm trying to get it. I can't get it centered. But can you see the depression meme?
Yep.
Quite visible.
And
Perfect.
everybody assumes that depression is like what you see on the left, sadness.
Yeah.
But it's really much more like the image on the right, where sadness is part of it, but self-loathing, anxiety, hopelessness, guilt, isolation. And you notice the biggest part of it is feeling nothing.
Nothing. Right.
And I have one student this semester who was just like, she's in a presentation class, but she was just not making it to class most of the time. And I've known her for a couple of years, so I know her reasonably well. And I sent her a note saying, can we do a private Zoom? We need to talk. And I showed her this and I said, is this what we're talking about? And she said, yeah. And we talked about it because it's one of those things, if you've got, okay, a few years ago, I had a heart condition. So I went to the doctor and they put me in the hospital. And if you have a heart condition, there's no question that you're going to go to a doctor and get help with that. And yet with mental challenges, there's this damn stigma. And it's absurd. And anyway, I found this to be a very good way to start a conversation. And as a consequence, I was able to, basically, we designed a asynchronous version of the course for her. She was doing the same stuff everybody else was, just on her own. She passed her semester just because we were able to talk about it and find a way that works for her. And anyway, in a couple of months, the Mind Brain Education SIG is doing a special issue on depression. And we're going to look both at it from what we can do as teachers to help, but also on teachers' mental health, which is an overlooked issue. So anyway, and the magazine's free. So just go to the address and you can sign up for the magazine and we'll send it.
Mark, I think some people are asking for the URL in the chat. Maybe you could put that in there.
I just did. It's
okay.
there.
Thank you. Excellent. Thank you very
Actually,
much.
so it's not that it's up a little bit. It's Mind Brain Ed, one word.
Got it.
So it's like mindbrained.org.
That's a good way to remember it. Okay, so I'm just going to stay mostly in the background unless there's something I really need to say, which is a dangerous thing for me to anyone to allow me to do. But I will be watching the chat for any questions that come up. If you want to participate, you can either raise your hand or bring a comment. Mostly questions are easier to find because I can look for question marks. But if you raise your hand by clicking on the button in the participants list, raise hand, I believe, is on the extreme left. Sometimes I don't remember because I hardly ever see that raise hand button. But raise hand, and then I can see who has raised their hand in order, and I will bring you to the front of the line. Otherwise, Charles Brown would like to talk about some of his toys.
Yeah, I guess there I do have a lot of toys. This is, I think in the title somewhere it says the two old guys. Now it's three old guys, but it's partially a joke, but it's partially, an important point. I'm 58 and I have several injuries that I'm dealing with. And I've already had to think about things to do for those injuries. And what's happened during COVID is spending 8-10 hours a day on the computer. All of a sudden I was getting new injuries, mostly in the form of lower back pain and stiff neck and shoulders, to the point where I was having difficulty walking easily. It was that bad. So over the past couple of months, I've sort of thought a lot about the rehabilitation I was already doing, adding new types of stretches and certainly part of it is, as Jose says, toys, buying toys. So we do have a number of toys. I think one of them that Jose and I both have is this cute little device, and this is really good for giving exercise to the ulnar nerve. The ulnar nerve is the nerve. I've got numbness going from my pinky, all the way up here, and sometimes my ring finger. It's something that often happens to bike riders, and I happen to be a distance rider. So at first I thought it was due to bike riding, but actually it's a form of carpal tunnel syndrome as well. And this particular device, this particular just stretching ring, this actually is one of the stretches that you can do that loosens up the ulnar nerve. And this is a very nice little device. Jose, you have a link to some of these things on Amazon, right? You have yours, right? Maybe you can pop that up on the screen share. And probably what we should do is as we show them, put the links. I've got Amazon links for a lot of the various toys that I have.
Yep.
But
we'll put those in the chat later. They will
Yep.
be downloadable as part of the OTJ website feature on this particular session. You can go there and check it out. All of these will be there.
What I'm going to do, I'm just going to share for a moment now. This is this is just another thing I think that we all really need to think about, and this is a cause of a lot of potential neck soreness, shoulder soreness, and back soreness, and that is not having a proper setup for your computer, not sitting in the proper position or angle. And there's a lot that can be, there's a lot of devices, there's a lot of things that you can do to do that well. But basically what you want is your eye level should be, sort of at about the top of your screen. So whatever screen you're using, whether it's a laptop or a desktop, you basically, when you're sitting comfortably, you need your eye level to be, sort of very close to the top of the screen, and you need to have a certain amount of distance between yourself and the screen. And they say about 50 centimeters, I believe, is the proper amount. And basically that's point number one. And I think, for myself, I've had to, buy things to elevate my computer. If I hold on a second, let me change the screen share for a second. I think I have another screen share I can do with you. Here is, okay. This is my current setup.
Nice.
And what you can see under the main desktop is just a little stand. It's only like 2,500 yen, but it raised the height of the computer just enough that it actually did have a positive effect on my soreness. because I ended up, sitting in a better position. I bought this one for my home computer, but I also bought a similar one to for my office computer that actually has a built-in wireless charger. So, for the iPhone, you can just kind of lay it on top, and that was only about 3,900 yen. So 2,600 yen for the black one that you see, and 3,900 for the one that's wireless. And I think maybe you can. I'll stop sharing, and Jose, you can either show the.
Charlie, can I throw something in?
Yeah.
I'm using a laptop right now, and it's sitting on two of these things that Sapporo
Yes.
gave with beers
Perfect.
a couple of years ago, and it's right at eye level.
Yeah, and for some reason, those cases just keep showing up, in the backyard, empty, in Mark's house.
There you go.
I don't know why. Okay, here you go. Link for everyone. Will be in the links, but it is in Amazon. And what was it, Charlie? About 3,000 yen.
Yeah, 2,600 yen for the black one that didn't have the charger, and there's a white one that has a built-in charger. It was like 3,900 yen, and that's kind of nice if you have too many wires around your desk, just having the wireless charger. The other thing I think a lot of people know what a standing desk is, and they those are fantastic if you have the budget to buy or make a standing desk. But you know what, it actually for me, I do need to change my position, shift my position a lot, and I only have a 4-mat room. That's what I'm in right now, is my office and my bed. And what I do when I want to have a standing desk for a while is I just I order a lot of stuff from Amazon, and I sometimes save the boxes. And if you just save all you need is a cardboard box. Elevate it a good like so that you can stand comfortably, right?
Let me show you what else you can do just to save money. I actually keep my notebook, which is my other computer, on a shoebox, which works really well, as long as you follow a couple of the protocols that I was mentioning last night. Stephen, remember this about keeping airflow under the computer, which is why I'm now going to show you a separate item. This is from Charlie's room, and he put a desktop computer on here. Now, if you've got a notebook computer, you have other concerns.
Right, for cooling. Yeah.
Right. And at the Apple Mac shop, I can recommend, even though, it is expensive, it's a 12 South curve stand for MacBook.
Yeah, they make
because
good stuff. It's
metal. Okay, so let's just go take a quick look at it. It's metal, and it's designed for a MacBook itself. And because it's metal, it can, there it is. It can allow for space to keep the computer cool. Now you're thinking, oh, how do I type on that thing? Okay, well, that will actually incur the cost of getting a separate keyboard. But the nice thing about getting a separate keyboard is that it's actually better than some of the other keyboards you might be used to, because they are so flat.
Right.
And that flatness actually helps alleviate a lot of the pain in your hands. The other thing about the stand is that it raises the camera even higher than even smaller stands. It'll raise it even higher than this shoebox. And if you want to raise it even higher, just put the stand on something else. That's what you can do there. Charlie?
And I have a very cheap stand that I use for my iPad. So, because I sometimes I want to do like annotating, in the middle of a Zoom lesson, but this keeps it, and this is angle, this changes angles too. And they have those for iPads as well as, as MacBook Pros and things like that. But that's a great idea. There you go. John's got the best one. Look at that. Look at how small that is.
Quick place to ask for any comments or questions that anybody wants to throw in at this point.
This one is 100 yen at the local Daiso.
Okay.
That's a bit cheaper than mine.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I got you, Stephen. I just want to say on one more thing. That stand I just showed you was 7,000 yen. Yes, that is expensive, but do consider that as opposed to an iPad, and that stand is sitting right on the desk, that you want to consider the cost of your stand versus the cost of your computer. And if somebody shows you a super cheap 100 yen plastic stand for your $2,500 notebook computer, I would reconsider the balance. Stephen.
Got to ask you yesterday, but what was the remote keyboard Was that just a standard one from the Apple Store, or
I don't know if you can see that Apple logo, but there will be nothing on my desk that doesn't have this Apple logo on it.
Well, actually, there's another thing
an
to
apple.
talk about, and with regard to carpal tunnel syndrome, often it is caused by working on a very straight computer. Like if all the keys are direct, are absolutely horizontal, that, if you type an awful lot, can cause carpal tunnel syndrome. So one of the things I got also, and I've got a link for, this is you can't, I don't know if you can see that it's angled. There's a bit of an angle to it. It's a portable, foldable, angled keyboard, and this I often use with my iPad or my MacBook Pro when I'm traveling, and just it just shifts instead of your fingers being like this, well, hold on a second. It kind of you kind of go like this, just enough that you relieve a lot of the pressure, especially on the ulnar nerve on each hand. So there are quite a few keyboards out there. There are full-size keyboards. I got a portable one. This one was about 3,000 yen. I think I have a link for it, angled keyboard. But these angled keyboards can also help if you're having any pain in your fingers or your wrists or the ulnar nerve, that one that goes along the pinky. So that's another one for sure. The other thing I was going to say is, and this kind of comes back to that picture I first showed you about getting the proper position in front of the keyboard, and that has to do with a chair. If my chair is not fantastic, and I found that my posture wasn't very good. So here too, I went and spent a little money on Amazon. I think we've got a link for it, about 2,000 yen or so. But this is it's a cushion. It's a cushion that kind of angles your back in a way that gives you better posture. And this has helped a lot, actually. Since I bought this, my back pain from long sessions at the computer has decreased significantly. So, there are more expensive ones. There's the ones that are hard plastic, and I kind of would like to get one of those, but they're like 8,000 or 9,000 yen. This was only about 2,000, and it's helped a lot. Another thing I think is really important, maybe for me, one of the most important things that I wasn't doing properly is standing up often enough. I have an Apple Watch, and the Apple Watch kind of, reminds me a couple of times a day to stand up. But I found I was, number one, I was ignoring it sometimes. and number two, it wasn't happening often enough. So when I really have hardcore sessions where I know I'm going to be sitting at the computer for 4 or 5 hours, what I do is I just pull out my iPhone, and I turn the timer on 20 minutes. And every 20 minutes, I stand up and do something. And from within a day of doing that, within a day or two of starting to do that, the back pain almost went away completely. So I think the standing up was a really significant part of what I had to do. Go ahead.
Just want to remind everybody that we're looking for questions and participation in the chat. I'm also watching the participants list for anyone who pushes the raise hand button. Mark, there was a question about mind-brained in chat, and I believe Timmy was asking, is it still being published?
Oh yeah, every month.
Okay, there you go.
Every month we've got, what's the next one? Well, 2 months ago we did one on online learning, online teaching.
Nice and responsive.
And then last month, or July, was positive psychology, which is something I'm very into. And next month is the social brain. So yeah, we publish it every month.
And just to add to Charlie's point, I think it's also just the idea that you change your position. So that literally means that maybe even changing that thing that you put the computer on, because that will change the curvature of your back.
Yeah.
Well, to change your position. I'm lucky to have a yoga ball at home, because I do exercise much less than I should. But if you can just change from your yoga ball to your chair, you go from your chair, and I have a seat cushion similar to Charlie's, not quite as good, but you change that seat cushion to a different seat cushion, to another seat cushion, that will also slightly change the curvature back and also give you a chance to wash those seat cushions.
And
Yeah.
the yoga ball is great. Go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mark.
No, I was just going to say about the standing desk idea. About 5 years ago, I switched to a standing desk at work. And what I found very interesting is I had been going to acupuncture about once a month because of neck and back pain. And since switching to a standing desk, I maybe once a year.
Wow.
And it's only because they give you a massage with it. No, but what I found, you had mentioned they can be pricey. They don't have to be. You can just buy a regular computer desk, the kind that, you know, usually has the printer.
Yeah.
And just put it together backwards. So the big shelf is at the top. That's where you put your computer, and the printer's under it, and it works fine.
Also, may I make a suggestion, everyone? If you're looking for a new desk, and you're looking at a desk that's starting to get up there around 20,000 yen, because they can get expensive, do consider that I have had the same desk now for my computers for the past nearly 30 years. The reason why is because I didn't buy a desk. I bought a dining room table. And the dining room table is designed at a height that is specific for people to sit easily with their elbows on the table or near the table. And some desks are not, and of course you can change your office seat, but also this thing is built to last for years and is also designed to take much more weight than a normal office desk that has spindly little legs and stuff. A dining room table has worked out really, really well for me.
Can I suggest that we've all been sitting down for a half hour right now.
Mark!
And and Charlie, you mentioned 20 minutes. And what's interesting about the 20 minutes point is that is the point at which the blood has gone south.
Oh,
after
I'm going to stand up.
Okay, everybody, now.
I want to turn this into an activity.
Everybody sit down, sit down. Teacher says
I do this with my students. Okay, the brain science, I want you to know, after 20 minutes, there's a buildup of blood in the feet, lower legs, and butt, and it comes from here. 1 minute of physical activity, you got a 15% increase of blood and therefore oxygen to the brain. This is one reason faculty meetings are so painful. Like there's no blood in the brain. So what I do a thing with my students called energy breaks, which I need to screen share. And energy breaks. I've got about 15 of these on a website. I'll give you the URL in a minute. What they all are is a physical activity and a little bit of brain science at a level that students can understand. Okay, so why is exercise so important? And I've got the pictures right now, so I can't see what it says. Okay, a single workout improves your reaction time.
Okay, David.
Increases your ability to pay attention, and increases brain chemicals, dopamine, which helps with memory and motivation, serotonin, which helps with memory and happiness, by the way, and noradrenaline, which gives you a better mood. Long-term workouts, regular workouts, increases attention and positive mood, gives you a better memory, and protects your brain from aging and memory loss. Okay, this is Dr. Wendy Suzuki, who's a neuroscientist at New York University, and she's going to lead you through a routine. It's going to last 1 minute. Can I ask you all to stand up?
here we go.
And you may need to move your screen so that you can see Dr. Suzuki. And I sure hope pardon?
And I was just telling everybody to watch out for their microphones. They don't bash their hands into it. They start swinging their arms.
And you know what? I think I forgot to check the thing to make the sound go. So I've got to go back to screen share. I got to stop screen share and then restart it with the microphone so that we can hear.
Charlie, quick stretch guides while Mark is doing that. Give us a stretch guide.
Well, I mean, for me, you know, it's the ones against the desk where you let me say, hold on a second. If you put your hands against the desk, put one put your one leg further back than the other, and you're stretching the leg that's further back, foot flat on the floor, and just lean forward slowly, and you will feel the stretch very clearly in your calf. But it works not just your calf; it works all the way up your leg and into your lower back. And if you do first one leg and then the other, give it about 30-40 seconds each leg. That's one of the key ones that I do that helps me a lot.
Okay, and here's one for everybody else. While you're doing that, you do that or do this one. Hands together. Okay, prayer position. Okay, down. Now bring your elbows down.
Oh yeah. This is a great one.
Okay. Now, if you can, separate your palms. Keep your knuckles at their base together. A little further down. Okay. Now, put them down. Fingers on the desk. Down again. You're going to get a different stretch in a different part of your forearm. Down all the way through. Mark, you ready to go?
Yep.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
And Jose,
Sure,
those are
this
great
one.
because those are like ulnar stretches. Those are the ones these are similar to the ones I was doing for my injury.
Okay. So this is Dr. Suzuki. Watch her do what she does and repeat what she says. So it's kind of like, it's like call and response. Okay. Hi.
But it's one thing to talk about exercise, and it's another to do it. So it will change the trajectory of your life for the better. Thank you very much.
Okay, I got just one quick thing to say. You want to talk Wonder Woman? You want to talk about strong? I want you all to know that my friend Melody Cook is a Wonder Woman who is strong and is just talking to us from our hospital.
Hey, Melody.
We're talking health and wellness. Thank you for coming, Melody. Okay, you don't have to talk. You don't have to talk. Don't talk. You got to get some rest. Okay, but it's so good to have you here. So good to have you here. Okay, and inspiring to see your camera. Okay, Mark, want to cap that off for us?
I will put the URL. I've got about 16 of those now. So that's like most of us teach once a week for 15 weeks for the semester. So of those 16 energy breaks, about 11 or 12 of them you can do online. And so I will put the URL where you can download them, and I just throw them in the middle of the class just to
Why not?
revive the energy. And
That's a great idea. Yeah.
It's
And
so
every 20 minutes. What a great idea.
Okay,
Okay,
well,
all right,
it
guys.
doesn't even have to be that much, but just all right. Anyway, I'll put it in the chat.
Thank you. And I just want to refer, Louise is here, and she's using up part of her data plan just so that she can walk with us and talk with us. Louise, did you want to say anything while you're out there doing your healthy walking bit?
Yeah, Louise is inspiring.
Well, yeah, this summer I decided to walk a lot more. And I mean, as Mark was saying, it's really great for us to get movement into our lives, keeps our brain active and our body. And I wanted to go to lots of different sessions like Eurocall last weekend and some of the sessions here.
Yeah.
So I just take you guys with me. That way I can do both. I was doing part of Eurocall in a park, at a temple, really quiet places. The time zone was really different between Europe and here. So it meant that the time of day that I wanted to do it, I could do it in really empty spaces. The parks were not full and nice and shady. And I'm just heading to the park that I go to every day now, the one I go to in the morning. I think it helps a lot to walk.
Well, even just watching you walk, it makes me inspired. I mean, you've been walking the whole time we've been presenting, and it's kind of been making me get, kind of ginky.
I think you walk as
Well,
fast as you run.
I had to go to the bank first. So usually I don't have to walk through so many streets to get to the park, but I did some banking while you guys were talking too.
The multitasking aspect of Zoom.
Oh yeah. I have yesterday's bottle holder that I made during whatever session it was.
You made a bottle.
Yeah, well, I had it.
Right?
Yeah, kimono zobi and an old bikini string is now like perfect for my water bottle. So
Wow.
Cool.
yeah.
So let's see. What's next, gentlemen? I don't see any chat or raised hands.
Well, how many people have sore necks or sore backs? Is anybody struggling with that?
Yeah.
I mean, is one or two of the things that, you know, the inverted sit-ups on the medicine ball that Jose had, that helps me. Has anybody ever seen one of these? This is I think they call them lacrosse, like double lacrosse ball. It's sort of like two tennis balls, you know, put together, but they're quite a bit harder than tennis balls. But the idea is that you can lay down on the floor with this either underneath your neck or underneath your upper spine or underneath your lower spine, and just sort of slowly roll it. I mean, this part right here goes on your spine, and so it's not that uncomfortable. And what it does is it slowly stretches out your back and your spine. And I found this to be you know, very, very helpful too, you know, if you are experiencing back pain. This kind of little by little, you know, just it's sort of a passive stretch, helps you to stretch out. There are also these kind of things, you know, I'm sure you've seen these. There's short ones. This happens to be a very long one, but these as well are very good for stretching out hard muscles. You can use it of course, for your back and your neck, but you can also use it for tight leg muscles and other. There's just a whole range of exercises you can do. I think I have, Jose, I think I provided a link for, there was like an article in Men's Journal that had like 10 foam roller moves that you can do. So they're called foam rollers, and they're all kinds of different muscle groups that you can attack with one of these things. They're very, very inexpensive, usually only about 1,000 yen. And you know, even if you don't have a gym, you know, they're that you have access to, just a foam roller can be, you know, just one thing that can help an awful lot.
I have this one, Charlie. I don't know if I saw the link specifically with
Okay, hold on a second. Let me see if I can. I'll copy and paste it into the.
Yeah, because actually a lot of those links were pasted before everyone showed
Okay.
up, so it wouldn't be a
Okay,
bad idea.
so here's that's the link to the Men's Journal article with various foam roller moves, and I do about half of these. I don't do all of them, but there's some really good ones in there. What the other thing? Let's see if you know, I'm a little bit lucky. Let's see. Hold on a second. I'm gonna share my screen now. Hold on a second. Let me see where is it? Oops, too many. Hold on a second. Here we go. Okay, so I'm a little bit lucky. I have a small gym in my house. It's only about 4.5 mats, but that gives me access to a lot of equipment. But you don't you don't need something like this to do exercise. If you look in front of the far mirror, there are some kettlebells, and you get just 2 or 3 kettlebells. You don't need a whole gym. Just 2 or 3 kettlebells. You can do dozens of different exercises. I also found that for after long periods of time in front of the computer, one of the things that was very, very helpful was just hanging stretches, you know, going, you know, like you can see I have like a pull-up bar at the top of the squat rack, and you don't even have to do pull-ups, just hang on the bar and just hang there for 30 seconds, and you let the weight of your body, you know, it stretches out a lot of the tight muscles. And if you can do that like once a day, that can be really helpful as well. Louise is doing distance walking, I think 10 kilometers a day, and that's an amazing target. It's a beautiful target. But just running of any kind, walking of any kind. I do bicycling and running by the river. Those are very helpful. Now the COVID is, I think we've relaxed restrictions on pools. Swimming is one of the ultimate back loosening exercises. So if there's a pool nearby and you're feeling tight and stiff, if you can just spend 20 minutes swimming, 30 minutes swimming, you'll be astonished how many muscles that loosens up too.
Okay. I have a few tips that I wanted, unless Charlie, you wanted.
No, go ahead, please.
I have a few tips to talk about in terms of your computer environment, because this is where we are, unfortunately. most of the time during ERT. And if you're going to be staring at this screen, you gotta be careful. I found out from my computer. My computer alerted me for some reason, specifically this week, about my computer usage. And I think it was because even my computer was freaking out about how much time I was spending on my computer. And let me see if I can get you.
Shut down and say, go outside, Jose.
It basically did, because I wasn't prepared to actually show you this, but I'm going to show you what my computer showed me. And I literally couldn't believe this, and I had to check, and I ended up having to post this on my own Facebook, because it told me that this week my daily usage was up over 10 hours a day. And I was looking at that and go, no, that can't be real. And then I thought, oh yeah, that's right. On Tuesday and Wednesday, and I was there from like 7 in the morning until 11 o'clock at night. And it's just, you got to be careful. Okay. Now, if you are going to spend that much time on your computer, a lot of people have been kind of freaking out because Facebook has suddenly changed its interface. And, oh, this is so weird. This is so strange. I don't know where anything is. And yeah, the buttons have moved. But one great thing about it is that now you have what's called a dark mode. And if you have been using Facebook in its normal white mode for all this time, can you even feel how much more comfortable your eyes are when I switch over to dark mode like this? Okay. This is much better. Charlie, can you get that?
Yep.
Can you get that? Like,
I did.
Can you get the door?
Get the door. I got the door.
Yeah. Because the hosts hear a doorbell ring. You guys don't hear, but we hear a doorbell ring. And if you switch to dark mode, you can feel it, right?
Yeah.
And how much less light that throws. And a lot of people are concerned about the amount of blue light that comes into their eyes. Well, best way to cut down on that is to cut down on the amount of light that's coming into your eyes. And dark mode will help you. Now, another way that you can start bringing this into what you do, because we're staring at Zoom an awful lot of the time, is let me show you my desktop, is that, let me bring Zoom back up here. Come on, baby. And get the Zoom window.
Yeah, dark mode in Zoom is great.
Is to go to your settings in Zoom. Okay, go to settings. And then in the, oops, that's blocking the chat. And then in the general tab in settings, okay, choose the dark mode. Here's one for use system setting, which means that if you've decided to actually take matters into your own hands and use dark mode on your computer on a Mac, specifically on a timer, which the Macintosh can do, it will follow the system settings. But me, I usually on dark mode all the time. I mean, the advantage is the fact that right? And the advantage is the fact that it's better for your eyes. So go ahead, do it all the time. I mean, again, you can feel it, right? Didn't you just kind of like flinch all of a sudden?
Yeah.
And then now, oh, so much nicer, right? Now, there's another place where you can invoke dark mode. And there are all kinds of sites that are starting to actually switch over to dark mode. But we're probably watching a lot of videos. We're doing a lot of Zoom. And we're doing a lot of Facebook. So let me see. Did I prepare my YouTube? Oh, no, it's on the other one. Okay, sorry about this, guys. I just need to go to my, okay, services, community, YouTube. And I'll get this out of the way. And my YouTube also runs in, yeah, you guessed it, dark mode. There is a dark mode for YouTube, and you can control it here under your icon by, oh, no, okay, there it is. Dark theme on. Click here, okay, and it'll tell you about dark theme. You'll figure it out. You're not a dummy. You don't need me to show you. You just need me to tell you where it is and that it is available. And there is a huge difference eventually when you start to use a lot more dark mode and you go back to somebody else's computer that is running white mode. There is another thing, and again, I'm sorry, I have to leave this on screen share on my great big 27-inch monitor, but at least for people who own Macintoshes, okay, come on. Start off my chat for a bit, close this for a bit while I'm waiting for my, where did you go? It must be up somewhere else. Oh, no, there it is. Okay, so there we go. Okay, if you go to the displays in the computer, you can control something called night shift. Will help you control the actual color temperature of your monitor. Now we hear again about blue light cut glasses, 20 bucks or so, put them on top of your eyes. But what if you're already wearing glasses? Then you have to get special glasses with blue cut tints and no. Well, again, cut down on the amount of light coming into your eyes by using dark mode, and cut down on the amount of blue light coming into your eyes by cutting down on the amount of blue light within any of the light that you're actually watching. So if I was to go to night shift, and if I was to turn it off, okay, I don't know if you can actually see this, but like that hurts my eyes.
No, I couldn't see the difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You can't see it? Okay, well, if you try it and you get used to working with night shift, it is just so much more comfortable. And it feels different. Trust me, you're going to feel it. I'm so used to it that the only time I let it actually, you have to choose 1 minute in the day when it has to switch over. Even with these custom settings, there is no setting for all the time. So I choose it between the least likely time I'm awake, 3:59 in the morning until 4 o'clock in the morning, and it shifts at that time. And I never see it shift because, and I have this running on my phone. I have it running.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't there something on your phone as well for this?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's where it began. And people loved it so much on the phone. Apple put it into their Mac OS as well as their iOS. Your eyes, you only have two. Okay. So, and I'm starting to lose these. I'm going to take really, really good care of them. Dark mode and night shift. And, for your mouse or for your trackpad, I've shown this before, get your set, I'll show you one, get yourself a set of, these are so raggedy because I've been using them for ages. They're basically wrist rests. To prevent that carpal tunnel syndrome, one thing that you've got to do is you've got to not let your wrist flex any more than it should. So if you're on a desk and your wrist is flat, it's fine. But when you're mousing, it's going to go up a little bit. When you're typing, it goes up even more. So at least when you're mousing, if you put this underneath, that is going to change the angle of your wrist, and you can mouse from here. I actually like it so much that I bought two so I could get my wrist to go up even higher off the desk. Little things like that. The new Apple keyboard, Stephen, one great advantage to it, it is so flat. The old ones were much bulkier because they had batteries. Yeah. Literally.
Yeah, I think this is about mine too. Yeah, same thing.
It's exactly the same thing because it's a Mac keyboard. And I would suggest that when you purchase a keyboard, you look for that as a feature, just how flat it is. And I'm looking forward to my new Mac coming on Saturday because it has a new trackpad. The trackpad is the same size, same angle as the keyboard.
Definitely going to get that, yeah. Get one of those.
Yeah.
I was
that's kind of
when I was showing my students their writing and expanding on my screen, I had my hands up quite high. I was getting that wrist strain.
Yep. But also do consider this. It is also important for you to change that wrist position no matter what it is. So even if you do feel comfortable with one, occasionally use two. Occasionally, maybe for 1 or 2 minutes, if that's getting tired, actually go back to being flat, but don't stay there too long. But the movement, the change, like the 20 minutes, right? Yeah. But here's another really kicker tip, okay? I had developed carpal tunnel syndrome maybe around 2005 or so. It was so painful. I couldn't close my hand to grip this. And this was one of the things that actually helped my carpal tunnel syndrome. But at the time, I had work to do, and I couldn't use my right hand to mouse. I mean, do things like hold a sandwich or something like that. But I had to continue. And I got a tip from Mark's buddy at Mindbrain, Robert Murphy. He said, well, I had the same problem too, because he was just as geeky as I was at the time. And he said, just learn how to use your left hand. Of course, you know, your right hand is easier because, you know, we're all right-handed or left-handed, or your alternate hand. Become ambidextrous with your pointing devices. And at first, it feels really clunky, really goofy, and you want to give up. But you'll thank yourself because it takes maybe about, Charlie, 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. Even less if you're on the keyboard a lot, if you're on the mouse a lot. Yeah.
So you learn it, and you learn, you know, your hand will eventually learn the memory between on the left hand. Okay. Yep. It is your middle finger for the left click, and it is your right, your index finger for the right click, et cetera, et cetera. You'll get used to it.
And it's easy with the new trackpads because you can just put it on one side or the other side of your keyboard, and it just fits exactly where it's supposed to be.
Exactly.
They're very nice.
Takes about 2 or 3 weeks. And then, sorry, Mark, just one more thing. If you have both, the trackpad and the mouse, okay, that's my mouse, you can switch between the mouse and the trackpad on one hand, okay, because they're different movements, and it relieves the pain a little bit. Then you go to the other hand to relieve the pain of the movement when you become totally ambidextrous and totally good with both devices. And again, you know, it's worth it. And you're going, oh man, 6,000 yen for a mouse, an extra mouse. Yes, it is worth it. Okay, it is your health. It is worth it. Sorry, Mark.
No, I was just going to say, should we look at meditation a little bit?
Should we,
'Cause, I mean, that was-
actually, is it time to have an energy break? I don't know. Has it been 20 minutes?
Well, let's do a little yoga breathing for
Okay,
an
here
energy
we go,
break.
guys. Little yoga.
Let me go, man. Let me.
Gonna go to the speaker view. You're on speaker view now, Mark.
Oh, that's not what. Yeah, I know. It's just I'm looking for screen share and. Okay. Wait a minute. Let me try that.
By the way, everybody, while you're looking at Mark, oh no, he's got it. Okay.
Actually, I've got to close this window because I've got it on a different. Hi.
Okay. While Mark is trying to do that, Charlie was talking before about kettlebells, and I'm on a yoga ball, so this is actually really good for my core. This is a 12. Yeah, this is my 12. This is a 12-kilo kettlebell, and it's called a kettlebell because if you look at it when you're drunk, it looks like a tea kettle. But don't try to make tea with this thing. And it's basically a gigantic cast iron ball with a handle. And if you go to YouTube and you search for kettlebell exercises, plethora of these things, and totally free. And just with this one tool, which takes very little space, you can do a whole set of exercises that are total body exercise.
Yeah.
Especially my favorites are just that one that I was just showing you before, called the halo, where you hold up this 12-kilo weight and you basically spin it around your head as if you're trying to ride a halo with it. Trust me, after about 15 of those, you're going to give up. And the Turkish get up. Charlie, what's your favorite with the kettlebells?
Well, for me, because I have a lot of stiffness, I like doing the lifts like this, where you're lifting either like this way or out into the front, and I try and do it different each time. And you know, sometimes there's also another one where you kind of stand up and you hold it in front of you, and it's kind of like you kind of do a like this with one arm and then switch and do the other arm. And it's a kind of that's it right there. It's a whole body exercise. You get about like 10 muscles in one single exercise, and you do like 7 or 8 sets of those. You know, you'll be hot and sweaty and your muscles will feel good. And I think, you know, actually that just to come back to what we were talking about at the beginning, I think, you know, if you're feeling mild, not clinical depression, but like mild depression, or you're not feeling, you know, genki and you're feeling a little down, exercise, you know, physical exercise for more than 20 minutes activates chemicals like endorphins that actually sort of stimulates and makes you, you know, feel better. And so for me, the busier I get, the more locked down at the desk I get, the more I feel the need to do something, you know, whether it's running or biking or lifting or something. You know, just once a day, you know, if you can do 20 or 30 minutes, I think what Louise is doing, the walking, the long walks, anything, if you can do something once a day for, you know, 30 minutes to an hour, that has a huge positive effect.
Charlie, question from chat. Okay, from Risa.
Mm-hmm.
I can't get over the image of the home gym. Did you set that up all in your house, Dr. Brown?
Yeah, I did. Actually, my second son was you know, is a soccer player, and he's 19 now, but I built it when he was 16 to try and help him to prepare for like a professional career. And we had a very small room that we weren't using. It's only about 4-mat room, and so I just measured everything and looked for the equipment and you know, put the padding down myself. And yeah, it was all in for everything that was there. It was about probably 150 or 160,000 yen, but it's it's been great. It's been great for my son. It's been great for my daughter. she had me put the exercise bike in. I use it, sometimes as well, although I prefer like regular, gyms with machines as well. But it's, if you can have a dedicated space, if you have more space, it's better, because if you have more space, then you have room for like a yoga mat, and you can, do stretches. There's no room for stretching in that room. So when I do, stretches of any kind, I have to go, downstairs to the living room and do it. But I do feel very lucky to have that. Yeah. And I designed it myself.
Yeah. By the way, probably after Mark, how long will your meditation last? 10 minutes or so?
Yeah, 10 minutes sounds good.
Okay, so how about 10 minutes for that, and then we'll open up the floor for open discussion, and then we'll just let everybody open up their mics. I wanted to ask Charlie, your dog weighs what, about 30 kilos, 20 kilos?
23.
Okay, have you ever tried squats with her? Because I think she'd like that, get a little hug from daddy.
Yeah, I think today is National Dog Day. So, maybe we should do some dog, some dog lifts.
Give her a belly rub for us. Give her a belly rub for us. Okay, Mark, you're on.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're up.
Meditation. Okay, a little background. I've been meditating daily for something over 45 years. So meditation is just part of what I do. And it's better now than it was a few years ago. A few years ago, meditation sounded really weird to students. It's this, the aging hippie aspect. And so part of what I'm doing when I share this stuff with students is trying to get them to get that, no, these are tools. Try it. If it works for you, you got another tool. And so I often go into it starting with yoga breathing. Okay, and I need to start here. Okay, and the way I approach yoga breathing is I'm not trying to teach them yoga, I'm trying to teach them how to control your own mind. Yeah, which is useful before tests, before job interviews, anytime you want to be able to control your body and your mind. Because, the great thing about yoga breathing is you can do it privately in public. Meaning you can be in a room of, 50 other people taking the TOEIC, and nobody's going to notice that you're doing this. You can be waiting for your job interview, and there's like 5 or 6 other people there, and you're all sitting in a row, and you can control your mind. And so the way I approach is 2 things, out through the mouth and, out through the mouth and in through the nose, because your mouth is bigger than your nostrils, right? Your lungs contain about 2 liters of air, and regular breathing, you're exchanging 200, 300 cc's, which means you got a lot of old, funky, dead air in your lungs, and out through the mouth to get rid of more than you're taking in. And then the way I introduce it is we'll do out for the count of 5 or 6, whatever. I start with out for 6, hold for 5, and then in for 4. And so can I ask us to actually try this?
Yeah.
And what I should mention is the ratio is what's important. Most people can do 6, 5, 4. If you're a smoker, maybe not, right? But if it has to be shorter, or if you can do it longer, that's cool. But we'll start, and I'll be kind of noisy. But can I invite you to close your eyes and, out through your mouth, 2, 5, 6, hold, in, hold, out, hold, in, hold, out, hold.
Wow, I feel
Now
better.
that's a very standard
I do.
yoga breathing exercise. But if you don't, how many people feel a little dizzy? Because if you don't do this kind of thing, you will feel dizzy. So I encourage my students, you know, do it before the test, right? I mean, like, don't wait until that day to practice it. But it gives them just a way to control their own mind. Okay, and then
Mark,
yeah.
I have a breathe app on my Apple Watch. Is that the same thing? It kind of asks me to do something like that, and it has a little animation for the breathe in and then hold and then breathe out. Is that yogic breathing? Is that the same thing?
I don't know the Apple Watch, but I'm guessing it's
It's
probably.
it has the same kind of effect. I mean, just slightly different, but it's the same kind of thing.
Yeah.
From the chat, Paul says the app doesn't include those holds.
Yeah, it doesn't include the holds, but the speed is slow enough that it feels almost like a hold. I do them, it just pops up. The two things that pop up on my Apple Watch is the stand up a couple times a day and then the breathe a couple of times a day. And I don't always pay attention, but when I do, I always feel better. And I haven't done it in a couple of days. So doing this with Mark, I actually feel much better. I'm like, oh, I'm going to commit myself to listening to my Apple Watch more from now on.
Yeah, it sounds. I mean, I'm sorry. Did somebody have
I'm
a?
sorry. I was just trying to make a joke, and I'm really bad at it. Sorry. Go ahead.
No. Okay, where are we? So meditation, and I'm gonna skip through a bunch of this. This particular PowerPoint is from a grad school class that I teach. Most of it, for meditation, you imagine that where you sit in a lotus position and stare at a candle and get a headache, and that's only one way. There are meditations that go with every sense, and like this is a mandala. It's associated with like Tibetan or Nepali meditations. It's a visual meditation. This, does anybody know that word? That's Om, which is the sound of the universe. Om is very often a mantra. So you focus on the sound. Om, Om. They're walking meditations. I do this sometimes when I walk into work. Your eyes are open, by the way. Just you don't want to fall over. Breathing meditation. So both walking meditation and breathing are haptic, tactile, kinesthetic meditations. Aromatherapy is a kind of meditation, and eating meditations. And this is where I usually start with my students. We do sometimes chocolate meditation. I made the mistake of trying to do a chocolate meditation like 2 weeks ago, my very last class. Like, hint, don't try a chocolate meditation in August because it's a mess. But what I very, very often, and this is what I do in the classroom, I did a chocolate meditation a couple weeks ago because I could tell students just bring a piece of chocolate next time. Blueberries are more specific. There's a very famous raisin meditation from John Kabat-Zinn at Massachusetts Medical Center. Go on YouTube, John Kabat-Zinn, Z-I-N-N, and you'll find it. I do it with blueberries because a lot of students don't like raisins, which is what John Kabat-Zinn does. Everybody likes blueberries, where you just eat a blueberry with mindfulness. And that's how I introduce students, partially to make it not so weird. It's not about going to a temple in Thailand or whatever. It's just eating a blueberry and actually noticing it.
Mark. I'm a big fan of a guy named Sam Harris, who has a very famous podcast, and he also has a very famous, very popular app called Waking Up. And the app itself is designed to help people through guided meditations. and he talks about a lot of the similar things you've done. But what do you think of those? Because there are a few of them, the apps for meditation. Oh, speaking of apps, Charlie, Timmy in the chat was pointing out, I think it was a watch app, Timmy?
Yeah, it's real. I was just looking at it. It looks great.
Okay,
And
so
I already thanked him for it. Thank you.
Anyway,
That
so
looks very good.
what do you think? What do you think about those apps? Is it worth the money? So that's the thing. Like it's like $10 a month or something for one of those apps, or
is it
something that? Yeah. Well, for waking up, the waking up app is I'm talking about specifically. Is it worth it, or if people are going to take up meditation, is it something that they can just maybe pick up from YouTube or just do it instinctively, and eventually they'll get just as good as?
I'll give you a YouTube link later. If it works for you, then it's probably worth it, right? What I do, actually, let me go a couple more slides.
I'm sorry.
There's a variation on, okay, mindfulness. Mindfulness which has become very popular recently. It's as simple as it sounds. And there's this great slide saying, here's this guy who's thinking about his car and travel and his house and money, and his dog is being mindful. His dog in the moment.
That's perfect.
And when you meditate, you will have other thoughts. That's totally natural. It means you're doing it right because you're noticing what's going on. But the way I introduce meditation to my students, we do in our first year reading class, a 3-week unit on traditional Asian healing. And we start off with meditation. Week 1 is meditation, where we start with the blueberry meditation and then metta meditation. Metta is a Pali word, but Pali is the language the Buddha spoke. But this is not a religious meditation. Its history was related to Buddhism, but the meditation itself, it means loving kindness and compassion. And what I like about this is it's kind of like it has a story. You focus on, it has 4 lines. May I be well, may I be happy, may I be peaceful, may I be loved. And you start out thinking about yourself, may I be well, may I be happy, etc. Then you change it to someone you love. Very often it's a family member, somebody like that, somebody they actually love. And then someone who's neutral. I use with my students, I use the example of like, the people who work at the campus co-op, or the guards, or the people who work in the cafeteria. And then somebody you have difficulty with. And we can all have a colleague or two we can think of for that one. And you just run it through this pattern. May I be well. And you imagine your own loving kindness, compassion going to first to yourself, then to the person you love, then to the neutral person, and then somebody you have difficulty with. And it's really easy because there's kind of a storyline. It's easier for the students. If you do a mantra meditation, which is what I happen to do personally every day, it takes a little while because it's so abstract, whereas this is not. So I will, here is an online version that's on YouTube. I'll play about 1 minute of it if that's okay.
Can you pop a link into the chat for this one?
Yeah, I will.
I'd love it myself.
Sorry, I didn't remember the intro was so long.
No problem.
Begin by sitting down in a comfortable position. Sit with your back erect without being strained or overarched. Or you can also choose to lie down on your back. You should have your legs unbent and uncrossed. Your arms at your side. Take a few deep breaths to relax your body. Take the air in through your nose, breathing deeply into your lungs, and release the breath through your mouth. Feel your energy settle into your body and into this moment. As you breathe deeply, you will feel your body become more heavy and more relaxed. After taking a few deep breaths, no longer try to control your breath, but allow it to come and go from your body naturally. Focus on your breath as it comes into your body and as it leaves. As you breathe in and out, move your focus from your breath to your heart. You might find it helpful to place one or both of your hands over your heart.
Okay, I'll stop it there because I'm going way over my time.
No, you're
But
not.
I will okay, I'll put links there. A couple other things to share. I've got a website, eltandhappiness.com, and I'll write that. But if you go there, go to the meditation page, and you can get the link and the also a 2-page handout. I use this in a reading class, and so the students read about it first. So where I'm building schema, basically. I'm telling this is what you're going to do, and that makes it much more comprehensible, and it makes it much more logical for a reading class. And then there are a bunch of links there on the same website, ELT and Happiness, because I imagine a lot of you came here because Chiyuki's known as a kids teacher, and so many of you may be interested in teaching children. There's also a page on my website called Mindfulness for Kids, which is based on work at the University of Wisconsin Center for Healthy Minds, where they have a whole kindness curriculum that's based on mindfulness for preschoolers and young children. And wonderful resources there, which you can get. They also, by the way, have a reading list of about 18 or so books. I was able to order them all. And so we have a kindness curriculum workshop as part of our elementary education, early childhood education department teacher training program. And I got way more than all those books for something under Goman N. If you decide to do that and you would like to avoid Amazon, almost all came from Book Depository. So get the free kindness curriculum, look at the book list, and check out Book Depository. I'll put the links, but I should probably quit talking in case people have questions or ideas.
Okay,
well, let me just do a quick 1 second or 1 minute at the most follow-up, and that's just to give a plug for Chiyuki, because that's what Chiyuki and I have been working on the past couple of months, but mostly Chiyuki, and that is a Chipmunks yoga program for children, teaching yoga in English to children, and she's spent a long time developing this curriculum. And it's focused on things like developing mindfulness and many of the things that Mark just talked about. I don't think it's publicly available yet. We work together to develop this for a gym in Tokyo, but she retains the rights to it and I believe is developing a website to make this available to everybody. So look for that soon. She did an amazing job on it, and the kids. I've seen kids as young as 3 and as old as 10 go through this curriculum and just pick it up. Japanese kids pick it up in English, it's wonderful, wonderful stuff too.
I think I'll have her on the podcast. Before I open up the floor and everyone, get your comments, get your questions ready, and maybe open up your microphones and your cams so we can have more of a roundtable feel to things. I wanted to also tell everyone that Chiyuki actually will be at one of her sessions that she did schedule, sharing stories
Tomorrow.
on Friday, yeah. And she feels good enough and really wants to be with everybody, so that at least for now, she says that she's going to do her best to work with the team on Friday, sharing stories all about people talking about what they went through the past few months of ERT. But for now, let's talk to these old guys. These 1, 2, 3 old guys about what you thought of the session and what you think that you can contribute, or the questions that you have. Anybody want to start? Open mics, or raise hands, or chat.
Can I go?
Absolutely.
Okay. So one thing that's helped me, besides the 20 minutes and getting up, it's also a body scan maybe every 10 minutes to think about where my feet are, where my neck is, you know, just check in, because we automatically slump down after time, right? So having that time check-in to see where your body is really helpful for me. So that's my comment.
Great.
Oh, that was great. As everyone's thinking about it, that's why we weren't talking. Let's see, who is next? I don't see any hands raised. Was anyone here actually experiencing any specific health problems? Not that I'm a doctor or anything, but maybe we can start from there. The things that you think that it was, I don't know. For example, I'll be very honest. The stress from ERT manifested itself very, very strangely. I got you, Andy. Manifested itself very, very strangely. I mean, it created a stress rash. And I was getting, I'm the guy going, wow. I thought, what is this? And at first, because a rash is one of those things that, you know, you don't like to talk about because, again, stigma, feelings of guilt and like worry. And then I realized, no, you know what? This is just a stress manifestation. And I found that first, we haven't talked about this yet, but are you eating properly? It's really easy to just end up relying on fast food and convenience store food, or sometimes not eating. Try to aim for just simple goals. Are you eating vegetables with every meal? Which is actually, even in healthy times, a very good goal to have. And that includes just, you know, a little bit of salad in your sandwich, maybe just some frozen vegetables. You got a bad rap. But it is better to eat frozen vegetables than no vegetable. Just throw some in your instant ramen. And, you know, you're just like, if you get up and do something, anything, you're lapping everybody who's on the couch, ridiculing you because you look funny in your t-shirt. So just start with something simple like that. Andy, what do you got?
Yeah, the issue I have had is I've had a history of like the back problems and the herniated discs. Like 4 years ago, I had like a neck disc where the nerve was pinched, and I had numbness down my left arm and in my lower spine. So in my left leg, I had numbness. So I couldn't even sit for like 30 minutes without my leg going numb, just being really uncomfortable. And I tried like acupuncture for a while, and that didn't work. And then finally I just went to the hospital, and they did the MRI. They could see the pinched nerves, and the doctor said, okay, take these drugs. And I was like, you jerk. Like, I don't want to just take drugs. Tell me some advice to make my life better, like health advice, and change my diet and stuff. But the medicine did work, and but it also, I found an acupuncture, chiropractor, and that really helped a lot. And
you know, Andy, I was just thinking, because I have a pretty bad torn meniscus in my knee. It's a permanent injury. It's never going to completely heal. But I ended up going to hospitals or doctors, you know, where it wasn't just, you know, they give you an MRI and tell you what's wrong, give you some medicine. You know, several hospitals in our area are, you know, rehabilitation hospitals, and they will, you know, they'll have a whole floor that looks almost like a gymnasium, and they will, you know, teach you sometimes painful stretches and exercises for that particular injury, combined with sports massage at the hospital, and all of this is covered by healthcare. And I learned an awful lot about specific exercises for my particular injury as part of the recovery. I mean, it took me several years. It took me, they told me I would never run again 10 years ago. And I went from them saying I would never run again to running my first marathon at age 54. So, I mean, that's how good these hospitals are. I mean, I think the healthcare system is really good here, but you do have to shop around. The first hospital or two I went to didn't help me, and I had to look where the professional athletes were going. Then I ended up finding the rehabilitation oriented hospitals, and they're amazing. They're amazing. So you know, I would say, the medicine might be to, sometimes that's necessary. Even the shots into the joints are necessary as a starting point, but it's not a long-term solution. The long-term solution is the stretches of one kind or another.
Yeah, I did find a yoga instructor in town, an Indian guy, and I've been doing yoga a lot. I'm since then, and that's made the best difference. It's just regular exercise.
Okay,
So
just sorry, Andy.
Oh no.
Okay, just to tell everyone, it is now 1:30, which was the scheduled end of this session, but I am perfectly willing to stay behind if no one else is, and I think Charlie and Mark might be willing to stay for at least a few more minutes. I just want to tell everyone that it is 1:30, and now we're going to go to Stephen.
And Stephen, just before you speak, before everybody leaves, if anybody does have like an injury where you think you might need that kind of a doctor, I can't find the link right now, but if you contact me by email, I can tell you the kind of hospital I was going to. I have a couple of links for those. I can't find them right now.
Okay, Stephen, you got it. You're muted.
Can't hear you, Stephen.
You're muted, Stephen.
You mentioned about fruit and vegetables, and I have a big salad every day and fruit for breakfast. And the good thing about being at home is I can juice every day now, like making a healthy vegetable juice for the afternoon and fruit juice with ginger for the morning. So it's a really good thing. At first, I was kind of abusing coffee a bit, and then I found like I'd cut down on that, not in the afternoons, but the juice really helped. Yeah. So
Speaking of coffee, one of the things I am concerned about and I teach my students about is sleep. Because most students are literally sleep deprived. I mean, it's not just an expression, but most of our students are teenagers, right? Teenagers actually need more sleep than children. But teenagers need over 8 hours, often like 9 hours a day, and they just don't get it. But one of the, Jose, you were talking about cutting down on blue light, which is an important thing about getting good sleep.
Oh yeah, sleep, yeah.
But also, the basic rule is no coffee after 3 in the afternoon, or no caffeine. So no coffee, no Coke. And I tell them, turn on the step counter on your phone.
Yep.
I mean, just, and your goal is 10,000 steps a day, but.
And I try to tell them in those very rare moments when they actually want to listen to me that turn off your TV, turn off your phone, turn off your computer, turn off your iPad, and cut down on that screen time at least an hour before you know it's bedtime. And you should have a bedtime. Your body needs a routine, especially in very unroutine times. And if you literally give yourself a bedtime of 11:30, 10:30, whatever, and then you start timing your routine so that then, it's time to read, it's time to sit down with a nice glass of soda water, and you turn that into a routine, that will help your body after maybe 2 or 3 months to get used to that. And it starts to think, hey, it's time for bed, and which starts to match your routine, and it's much easier to get some sleep.
I've got if anybody's interested in trying something with their students, I've got on a different website, and I'll give you the link in a minute. I've got a lesson on reading infographics, and I've got one on the science of sleep and one on positive psychology, the science of happiness. And anybody's welcome to use it. So it's at a reading site for my department, but I'll just put up the link.
It'll point from Andy about the difficulty of starting habits. And I don't have any specific advice for how to get past the first week, but I can tell you this, that at least twice now, as much of a drinker that I am, I have found a way to go through now 3 dry months. And I did a dry January once back a couple of years ago, did it again this year, strangely enough, a year of COVID. And just to see if I could do it, and because I knew it was going to be the most stressful month of my life, and it was one of the most stressful months of my life, I did a dry April this year. The one month when anyone would say, nah, it's okay to drink this month, Jose, the one month. And if I can do that, you can do anything.
I've had several people talk about an app called Streaks. I've not used it myself, but it's sort of an app where you try and get in the habit of doing something, every day, and you create these long streaks. I think Joe Polshock has been playing ukulele every day for like 4 years now. That's one of his streaks. He's one of the guys that told me about it. But that supposedly that app is designed to to help with the development of good habits. So that's another idea as well.
Actually, I lied. Oh.
I think it was like called Sticks.com. It's like a university professor had this idea, like a carrot and stick. So kind of method where you would kind of make a contract to yourself on this website saying like, I want to eat a healthy breakfast, every day, 5 days a week for 2 months. And you say, if I don't do it, I have to pay, you give me your credit card number, and you have to pay so much money to a charity that you hate. Like I would say, if I don't do it, I will give Donald Trump election fund $50 a week.
No, I will never give Donald
I'm
Trump
like,
money.
there's no way I'm not sticking to it.
It's a great, exactly. I mean, in a million years.
I remember that I do have some advice for building a habit. I don't see it near my desk. Oh, there it is. It's my Filofax. And yes, as techie as I am, I still do have a Filofax. And I regularly use my Filofax. And one of the things that I do with it is I actually write down, just like an app will have your step counter. I write down the exercises that I did that day. I write down the fact that, vegetables at breakfast. And if you write that down and you actually try to make that the target, not the actual exercise, but the target is writing it down that day, it atomizes the goal from a 2-month plan to actually put vegetables in all of your meals to today's goal of having vegetables at breakfast. And then it now lunchtime. I gotta, and the nice thing is you read it after, just like reading a journal. And you can read that, it was a really crappy month that month, but hey, it looks like it picked up again. And having kind of like journal entries for your streaks, I think will help. Mark, you good? Did you get the thing that you were looking for? Or were you looking for a thing?
No, I just posted a couple of.
I see. Okay. Next point for anyone.
Along the lines of that, keeping a journal, that's part of the habit thing, is getting the habit going. But that also works really well for trying to save money. If you actually just write down how much money you spend every day, you realize you're wasting so much money on, Starbucks or something.
Yeah, that's what got me to stop Starbucks.
or even beer. I mean,
receipts,
what the hell, I spent 2,000 yen on beer this week?
Yeah, when people tell me that Jose, Zoom is so expensive at 2,000 yen a month, you better not be holding a cup of Starbucks when you tell me that. You're doing what? You're doing that twice a day, and you're bugging me about 2,000 yen a month for a tool that I need at work. Put it in perspective, And there's a lot of money you can save by just avoiding Starbucks and making your own, and it's so much better for the environment.
But actually, it's a tangent, but when I got my Zoom Pro account, I think I paid a year in advance and I found a discount. So I think I paid about 15,000 yen or something like that for the year. So definitely less than 2,000 yen a month if you pay up front. And having the Pro account definitely has benefits. It's good. Other questions, comments?
Can I just ask, I put it in the chat, but Jose was mentioning he would put the links together and put them on the main page or somewhere, but I didn't understand where that was exactly.
The links for what? I'm sorry.
For this session.
Oh, well, we're recording this session.
Right.
And everything in the chat is also going to be a file, a downloadable file. So we'll when you record a Zoom session, you get the video, the full video, you get an audio version of the session, and you also get everything that was in the chat. So that might have been what he's talking about. But also at the beginning of this session, Jose and Mark and I got here a few minutes early, and we were copying and pasting all of our links and sending them to Jose. So I think he's made one document that had all of the relevant links. So he might be able to share that later. Jose? Whoops.
Sorry, no, I heard all of that from the kitchen.
Okay.
I wanted to get a can of water and
Okay.
I didn't go to the bathroom. No, really, I did. So files will be kept on the otjwisecat.net website where you found this event. It will be listed down there. There will be a separate download page, I believe, as well, too. And I will try my best, working with the authors of each particular event, to also put them in the OTJ Facebook group for each particular event, so that then the people who are used to going to the events page to get their link, to get their Zoom links, know where that is and can read the thread and can see the links there in one particular page. So there are going to be multiple places where you can get these links.
Guys, I just got a call from one of my co-presenters for another session this afternoon. So I think I need to leave and take care of that.
Thank you, Mark. You were great for helping us out with this on such short notice. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thanks. Thank you all for coming, and thanks, Jose and Adam, for setting up this whole thing. It's wonderful. So take care.
We'll see you at your session too.
Okay, great. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
One thing is, I've been having like shoulder trouble a lot this semester, and it's an ongoing thing. It's been for 20 years. Whenever I try to exercise, I get shoulder pain after a month. And part of it, I think, is I sleep on my stomach. I sleep kind of like this. And I've been trying to make the habit of sleeping on my back. And it's a really hard habit because I always wake up rolled over.
Extra pillows can help. I mean, sometimes, because having an extra pillow, you can sometimes jam them either between your legs or under your arm, and that sometimes takes off some of the pressure. Yeah, Tempur pillow, Timmy I have a Tempur pillow is one of the ones, and that helps a lot actually. But the other thing,
maternity pillows that there's like 3 pillows, you kind of wrap them around your body.
Yep, those are great. But I was going to say, for any, I've had shoulder injuries in the past and back injuries as well, but I found that swimming, I mean, it's just really like it's like almost a miracle drug. I mean, there's so many injuries that swimming can help with. And even with my torn meniscus, when I was so bad I couldn't even swim, I started walking in the pool, and just 2 months of that, I mean, it really helps. I mean, with swimming, because of the weightlessness, you're not hurting any injured area, and the body in the buoyant state tends to utilize muscles around the injured area. So you end up building up muscles around the injured area. You get increased blood flow to the injured area, and you end up stretching as well. So there's like kind of at like 3-4 levels. So if you can find a way to get in the pool regularly, absolutely, really, I guarantee you that'll help.
Okay, I mean, right now I don't know how safe that is.
No, it's slowly the pools are starting to open up now with distancing protocols and things like that. Maybe you have to wait a little bit longer before you feel comfortable, choice, but pools are opened up now.
Okay, just for my thing here, one of my favorite websites. These guys get millions of hits a month on YouTube, but you can also go to their own site, which is better than YouTube because they have a way for you to do searches. And every video that they make is free. They make their money by taking these videos that they were going to make anyway, that they slap up on YouTube, and put them into a package that they sell. You can download them for like $50, $70 here, plus some extra videos with nutrition advice, and then you can hire them as remote personal trainers. You make an appointment with them for matching time zones, and then they'll actually watch you do your exercise, and they'll do exercises with you. These guys make a ton of money off YouTube, but the great thing is that everything that they were gonna sell actually goes up on YouTube for free anyway. Fitnessblender.com. The link is in the chat. Check out the website as well as the YouTube site, and this really helped me a lot. Being at home without the facilities that Charles Brown has at his little mini home gym. By the way, Charles, Timmy wanted to know what are the membership rates at your home gym and the availability? Is it 24 hours, 7 days a week?
24 hours, yeah, and the only membership rate is beer.
A beer, yeah, sure, that's healthy. Speaking of Timmy, I wanted to call Timmy in. You're pretty sharp with all this health info that you're giving everyone.
Yeah, yeah, you lots and lots of great comments and links.
Where you? What's your background on that, Timmy? Do you want to talk on that a bit?
No, it's just random stuff that I read sometimes. So.
Okay, so
Well,
you're
it's
not
a
a
really
healthy
good
guy at all.
session, actually. It's just helping me complement whatever existing resources I have already. So you guys did a really good job,
Oh.
actually. The stuff that I know is probably just small compared to what you guys have.
Doubt it.
Here's another semi non sequitur, but not all of you know, but I'm like a vocabulary guy. I'm a corpus linguist, and one of the projects I was working on this year actually was creating a fitness word list. And I created a fitness corpus, and what reminded me was this Fitness Blender website. So we've got hundreds of the Fitness Blender videos are actually in the corpus. The idea was to create a word list that would predict what words a second language learner would be exposed to, if they're watching, YouTube videos of fitness or going to a fitness class or going to a gym. And that word list, all of my word lists are open source and free, but that'll be up on our website probably within 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, thank you. That's a good resource.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
And I'll actually put the website here just so you know. Hold on a second.
Fitness Blender I already put up, Charlie.
No, where my word lists are.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not directly about exercise, but there will be a fitness word list there soon. And I did a TED talk introducing the word lists, and there's a link on the left-hand side to that if you want a quick introduction to the word lists. Excellent. But the fitness word list and the children's word list, that's the other one. We have a children's words list and a fitness word list are both coming out this month, meaning September. So next month.
Jose?
Yes, sir.
Did you, you said you posted some stuff before people got here on the chat?
Let's see. How can...
Because I got here at 12 and basically you don't see anything
before that.
After you get here.
Yeah.
Or from before you get here.
It was before that. And what I'll try to do, John, is I actually have all of those links as a set of browser tabs. So while you're talking and while Charlie's talking, I'm going to see if I can, this is an interesting experiment for me, to try to take those browser links, bundle them all up, and maybe try to get them in now before time's up in about 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay. Somebody mentioned about the Nike Training Club app. I used to use that when I started running, but I eventually moved over to Strava, and there are a lot of people in Jolt, a lot of English teachers that are in Strava, and I kind of recommend it. It's fantastic as a biking app. It's really good for running and other sports as well. But there's so many teachers that are that you might know that are using it. It ends up becoming encouraging each other. So it's another way to develop a habit. Is if you have other English teachers who are also trying to push themselves to walk a little more or run a little bit more or bike a little bit more, and you become friends with them on this app, that can be really good. And of course, it gives you lots and lots of data, in terms of heart rate and distance and speed and things like that. But I actually do like the social aspect of it. I feel encouraged and challenged always by by using this. So Strava's a good one. Yeah.
Do you need a Wi-Fi connection for that, or is it?
No, not really. No. If you have, I use it on my iPhone and you can use your iPhone, your watch. There are devices like my bike computer uses syncs with Strava, but Strava there is a membership fee, somebody wrote, but I've been using it, the free version, for 5 years. I've never ever paid. I don't see any need to pay. There's enough features in the free version that you don't even need to think about the unless you're like a pro level athlete. I don't think you really need it.
Huh. Oh, thanks.
Yeah, the bike routes thing in Japan. Yeah, that's there are other ways around. I'm happy to, if you're Timmy, if you're a biker, contact me later. There are other apps and other ways to get the routes. And a lot of us are sharing info on that as well.
Sorry if I'm.
If you like hiking, there's I think Yama Map, or it's like Yama and Map combined.
Oh, that's great.
And there's a couple of kind of community sourced people just put up trails, and they give you recommendations and photos and stuff. And I found hikes around my neighborhood that I never would have found otherwise. So I think it's Yama Map or yammap.org or com. Yeah, that's it.
There you go. That's great. Timmy, you got everything. This is great. Thank you. It's like this chat is going to be very valuable. There's lots and lots of good links in there.
Oh yeah, he hacks government websites.
Okay, I'm trying to do that file compression for you, John. I can't do it right now while I'm trying to concentrate on all of this, but eventually these links will go up because before I close the room, I'm going to pop them into the chat before I save it. Tell you what, everybody, it is almost 20 minutes past our close time. Charlie, how are you feeling? You want to hang in for a bit, or?
Oh, no, feeling good, but actually nature is calling.
Yeah, nature is calling. It is 10 minutes until the start of the next session, and I'm speaking for myself. That was one of the most fun sessions that I've done yet, and it was great to work with you, Charlie. It's great to see everybody here.
Yeah, very, very fun indeed.
Very much. Yeah.
And I got to say, the highlight of it was having Melody there from,
yes.
from a hospital bed, and the timing was perfect. I don't know if you noticed, but she came in just as we are saying, "I am Wonder Woman. I am strong. I am on fire now." And there she shows up.
There she showed up. Perfect timing.
Just magical moments through these sessions this week. It's just been wonderful, and it couldn't have happened without all of you and your support. And everyone seems to be thanking me all the time. But I got to say, absolutely none of this would have been possible if everybody wasn't here doing it with me.
No, you've been giving us positive energy for months, and this is a culmination of that. I think this is a great event, and Jose, we're really thankful for it. Thank you.
Thank you. Charlie has a thing today at 4. No, not your thing. You're going to be part of the thing, but there's a great big thing at 4
on using textbooks, modifying textbooks for online learning, and then
your vocabulary thing.
That's tomorrow, and then there's actually I think 2 sessions tomorrow, right?
Yeah. So we're not done here, folks. We got plenty. We got plenty to do. It's only Thursday afternoon, and on Friday evening, we would like it, especially Stephen, Timmy. You're kind of new to the OTJ video thing, but every Friday night, we take all of this healthfulness, all of this well-being concern that we have, and we drink at 8 o'clock, and that link will be relinked as part of a special event on the events of OTJ. And please join us. I think the beer will taste especially good this weekend.
So Adam J is already planning his hangover for Saturday morning. That's a good comment.
Yeah, I had a 3-hour Big Blue Button meeting with him this morning. Like, we can't schedule anything for Saturday morning. I'll be hungover.
Okay, guys.
Okay, everybody. Take care.
Wonderful afternoon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll have all the documents and all the chat and all of that. Charlie's got to go, and I literally have to go too. This is now 2 empty cans of soda water, and trust me, this stuff works. We'll see you at the next session. Okay?
Take care.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.